Okay. So Nam aloha everyone, and hopefully you can hear me okay. And is it because of the time change that people are not used to, because we don't change time over here in Hawaii. We don't go through the time change. Just wondering why there's not my usual number of people on here, but that's okay. So this is going to be a short and sweet live stream because I have my online retreat that's starting in an hour, opening circle, and there's still time to join in if you want to join in, so keep that in mind. And let me just get the comment section up here. Okay, so if you could like the video, that would be great, and also put down your human design type in your astrology information if you want to, and let people know. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the full moon, and I didn't have much time to create a good slide, but I'll probably do a better one once I'm off of here. So this is the full moon on November 15th. So next week is the full moon. So the reason why I said is it the last full moon. It's the last full moon before Pluto moves into Aquarius for the next 20 or so years, right? So it's in Capricorn until November 19th. That's a big date to keep track of here. So we had a lot of lasts, right? The last transit, the last time Pluto met with the moon in Capricorn. I did a meme about that. If you follow me on Instagram and my YouTube channel or Telegram, you know that. So it's the last full moon before Pluto and Aquarius. So remember, full moons are all about letting go, letting go, letting go. And you can see here it's in the 23.6, right? The 23.6 is the full moon. And so the 23 comes off the throat, right? And then the sun, of course, is in the 43. See that? So this is the ajna. This is your personal mind, the green shape. And then the throat is the brown. So the 23 is opposite of the 43. This means they're programming partners. So not all of them make a channel. Do you see where it's colored in? The 43rd gate and the 23rd gate come together and they make a channel, the channel of structuring. And 3740 is like that, and so is the 3420. Okay? So the channel of structuring here is... This is about, and it's also conjunct Uranus. That's what I should also say, is the moon is conjunct Uranus. So the 23.6, they're different numbers, right? But they're side by side in the mandala. So when we go from the 23, the next one is the 8, right, in human design. So the 23.6 and the 8.1. Okay, so these are together, and you know that the 8 is all about your authenticity, being your authentic, unique, differentiated self, right? The Uranus wants to liberate you from not self, from everything that's not you, that's not authentically aligned with you, right? And then this moon, this is called the gate of assimilation, right? The 23 is the gate of assimilation, and it's splitting apart. Splitting apart. So what does this mean? It means letting go, right? Slicing away what is not you, what's not serving you any longer in your journey, right? So it correlates to the 7 of Pentacles here. And the 7 of Pentacles is all that work that you've been doing since 2016 or 2008. All that work you've been doing since 2008 when Pluto went into Aquarius for the first time. Or Pluto went into Capricorn for the first time in 2008. It's been sitting there ever since. What have you been working on since 2008, right? What's been your focus? So there you are, because 7s are all about reflection, right? The 7's all about reflection. So you're reflecting upon all this work. All this work. And so this is a time to look at value. Okay, what's the value I received, right? am I waiting for the harvest, right? Because full moons are all about harvesting. It's coming full bloom, right? It's ready to harvest. It's like that ripened fruit that's ready to drop from the tree, right? But you're looking at the bigger picture now. You're looking beyond just this full moon cycle, right? You're looking beyond, because when Pluto goes into Aquarius, this is a whole brand new 20-year cycle, right, of learning. So this could be harvest time from all this work that you've put in since 2008. Maybe you left home, right? Maybe you left home. Maybe you left your place of living, where you grew up, and you've been on this hero's journey ever since, right? Maybe you left school. Maybe you started a whole new career, right? For me, I became self-employed in 2008. And it can seem, just because we're in the 29 degrees of Capricorn, it can seem like, oh, I put all this work in and all, right? And you're not seeing that this here, right? There's one pentacle that's on the ground that fell, but he's like looking, like waiting, like when's the rest of it's going to start falling? Well, this is saying to make some time to have some gratitude for what you have received, right? And this is also connected because the Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Saturn that very same day is finally going direct. Saturn finally goes direct on November 15th, and that is really good news. This means that Saturn delays, right? It puts delays, it puts the blocks on things. It can make you feel depressed, right? Like there's these invisible walls around you. I'm going to be very happy when the Saturn starts moving, because that means life is really, we think that it started to move this week. It's really going to start to move forward, right? And Saturn is like, we'll start releasing those coins to you, right? When Saturn starts moving, the coins will start to release. Saturn wants to know that you're serious, right? Are you serious? Are you responsible? Right? Are you responsible? Are you a spiritual adult? Right? Can you continue this work, whatever work you've been doing? Maybe you're a healer, or a teacher, or a life coach, and you really made that commitment, and you had to go through thick and thin. You're tested. We have to be tested, right? So Saturn wants to know, are you responsible? Are you responsible? And then the earnings or the pentacles, right? Whatever pentacles mean to you, it's not necessarily money and finances, but prosperity can come through finances, of course, but also through relationships, through love, through time, through energy, through your health, right? Those will start to release. It's like the rewards start to come, right? Because we're ending this 16-year cycle, right? Since Pluto's been in Capricorn. So keep that in mind, that the magic word here is reflection and streamlining. Because you really get to see, like, oh, I put all this work in and I received a pentacle from all this work. It's been really not in balance, but I loved it anyway because I grew. Right? You take value from your spiritual growth. It's not about economic growth, right? It's about your spiritual growth, your growth in consciousness, right? So you really want to look at what you value. So this 4323, if we go back to here, because we have to look at the whole channel, well, this is a global transit, right? And we got the 5818 here, right? So the 4323 is... this is called the Freak the Genius channel. The Freak the Genius channel. And why is it called that? Because it's a channel of structuring. So, right, it's in the middle. Do you see that? It's in the middle. So 4323, right away, that's going to tell you that it's an individual channel. So there's individual channels, there's collective channels, and then there's tribal channels. Individual channels tell you right away that you comes with melancholy, right? So I know this personally, this one, because both my mother, my earthly mother, and my earthly father both had this defined, and they're opposite one another, right? So my father was a Taurus and my mother was a Scorpio. So they just have it flipped in their charts. And it's the same with my brother is a Scorpio and I'm a Taurus, and we have the 814 and we're flipped like that. So it's interesting to look at your family and who you attract and your family, right? Where you're born into. You'll see these similarities in terms of the charts because you're here to learn from one another. So I have this with both my mother and father have this. But I saw it mostly coming from shadow with them. They were in a lot of fear. And what's the fear here? The fear is the fear of rejection. I can't say that crazy thought that's in my head, right? This is the freaks, right? The 4323, I can't say that. I'll be rejected by others. So I'm going to censor myself and I'm going to judge other people who have kind of weird thoughts, right? Like that. So it can make you, it can bring a lot of anxiety. It can bring a lot of like melancholy, not necessarily like physically, but mentally. Like the 4323 people can be very, very sad people. They can be very, very quiet people too, right? Or they can just blurt out like they're the verbal gunslingers, right? They're shooting their mouths off left and right. And this isn't received well. Because whenever you have individual, because I'm a pure individual, and I know this and I've learned the hard way, that you need to learn to explain yourself. So 4323, there's so much going on inside. I don't have this, but I understand it because I grew up in it, in this field. Is that you need to learn to explain yourself as an individual. Because as an individual, you'll always be the outsider. You'll always be the outsider as an individual. The collective won't let you in. The tribe won't let you in until you learn to explain yourself, right? So you can't assume that they know what's going on in your head, right? Because the individual channels are I know. Right? If it's, it can be either I believe or I think, right? I believe or I think. So the logic, right? 1156, I believe. 1762, I think. And 4323 is I know, right? I know without knowing, which means like I haven't made these logical steps to come to this conclusion. I haven't gone through these experiences to come to this conclusion. I just know. That's what the individual says. I just know. Well, the collective and the tribe aren't going to go for that. They're like, how do you know? So you need to learn to explain yourself in the now moment, in the now moment. So to me, this full moon is coming with a lot of insights, right? About what? About what needs to be fixed. 5818, correct what's spoilt, right? This is collective, the 5818, right? And that's Venus. Venus is 58. That's the ruler of the full moon with the 18, which is the south node. So this again is more like streamlining, fix what's spoiled, what needs to be fixed, fix it, right? And also letting go of what's not serving us any longer, right? So there can be a lot of like awesome insights coming through the collective, through this full moon on what didn't work, right? Because it's about letting go. So you may have these insights too. So you want to be, I've been having crazy dreams. I don't know about you guys for the last couple weeks. I've been writing them down like out crazy, like alien dreams and ghost dreams and really supernatural. It feels like downloads. So you want to get your journal out, right? And then really write down these insights. Because the 4323, whenever you're talking about individuality, you're talking about mutation. And this is change, right? This is change, like irrevocable change. That's what a mutation is. And we're going, as a humanity, we're going through a huge mutation right now. So the 4323 is a projected channel, which means you need to be invited, right? You need to be invited to speak. So if you have this natally, you know that You have to be invited to speak, else it's not going to get in. So energetically, they're allowing you, allowing you to say something, and what you say completely can change their paradigm. They can go through a paradigm shift with the words that are coming out of your mouth with this 4323, right? But you need to be invited there. What else do I want to say about here? I want to keep on track. Okay. So you don't want to throw what I want to say with the Seven of Pentacles, because it's about reflecting on what you've been working on since 2008. You want to grab, right? It's about letting go, but you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? You want to be taking with you what you learned, what were the lessons you learned, what did you discover, right? In these last 16 years, and then you want to move on, right? You want to move on. Because this time, I mean, through this mutative process, it's very innovative, right? Aquarius is very into innovation. We need more innovative things. Things that are, innovation doesn't mean like it's coming out of the blue from the ethers. It's taking what we already have and streamlining it. This didn't work. That didn't work. 6 lines and third lines know this. This didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. Yeah, okay, this one pentacle works. And then we're going to innovate, right? That one pentacle. If that makes sense to people. Yeah. So this is about taking, this full moon is about taking a pause, right? There he is. He's got his rake, his hoe or whatever. And he's leaning on it and he's looking back at those 16 years and what worked. And the universe will show you. You'll know this does not have energy for me any longer. This doesn't have passion for me any longer. Whatever it is, it could be your relationship, it could be your career, it could be your health routine, whatever it is, right? You'll know. What do I need to let go of here? Okay. So with the, if we go to the 6th line, so whenever you see a 0.6, that means that's the very end, more end. Plus it's 27 degrees. So 27 degrees. The moon. Just check. Let me double check for numbers. Okay. 24 degrees. It's 24 degrees. Moon, and that's a Pisces degree. 24 degrees is a Pisces degree. This again is telling us that it's a completion. This is Saturn in Taurus, right? Saturn in Taurus is 24 degrees Taurus. It's Saturn in Taurus. That's 7 of Pentacles. This is the world, and this is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is our beliefs. They're traditional. They're old. That goes with Capricorn, right? With the Capricornian thing. This is the end of the world as we know it, right? With the Pluto and Capricorn, the matrix structure has gone down. It's going down, 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 down now, right? So this is the end of a cycle for you. And it's to let go of these old beliefs. They could be ancestral, right? This is Capricorn Saturn that we've inherited that are not true for you anymore, traditional. I mean, I was listening to an popular astrologer on YouTube. I try not to listen to other channels because I don't like to be influenced as a pure individual by others. And she was talking about Saturn going direct. And it was all like doom and gloom. I felt like she was the hall monitor, right? And you've got to be afraid, right? The karma's going to get you if you haven't been good, right? You're going to get a lump of coal in your stocking, right? You've been a bad girl or a bad boy. That's what it sounded like. And it's like, it was irritating me about Saturn. And I was really meditating on it. It's like, why is that irritating me so much? Because it's religion. And I know for a fact that she has religious she was in a religious cult when she was younger, right? So this is religion This is how people look at karma. Well, you got to fear God. You got to fear the divine, right? Or you'll get punished. And I was thinking, like, is that the only thing that's keeping you from killing me? Is that you fear that you're going to be in hell, eternal hell, in the lake of fire for the rest of your life? I don't really, I don't know if that's really holding anybody back, if that's what's stopping you. Now, the solar plexus mutation, because I was like, well, what stops me from doing things like that, right? Well, it's not that. I'm not like fearful of an afterlife, and I'm certainly not fearful of the divine. Well, it's this solar plexus mutation, right? So the solar plexus mutation, this is an opening of our awareness. Our awareness is opening up big time, right? 2027 onward. And some of us are on the front line. And what does this mean? This means that you will feel like Saturn right now. There's a lag, right? There's a lag. And the lag is action and reaction comes through time and space, and sometimes that takes a while. You look at a couple, and they have the first few years of marriage, and they fight and they argue and they don't get anywhere, and then finally they maybe go to couples counseling, right? So this is like years later, and one of the partners says, it really hurts me when you lash out at me like that. When you react to me, it makes me feel like I don't matter, or it affects my self-esteem, blah, 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 right? So there could be like a 2-3 year gap there. And then the other partner is like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way, right? Well, with the solar plexus mutation, that lag is going. Remember, Saturn is losing its power over planet Earth, right? So the lag is going. So what does it mean when your solar plexus is open? Well, you're going to have empathy, right? So empathy versus sympathy. Sympathy is, I can imagine what it feels like to go through that experience that you went through, right? Empathy is, I know, I'm with you. I feel what you feel. This is a totally different thing. And this is the solar plexus mutation, is brings empathy. And empathy is, okay, I'm reacting to my partner, and at the same time, I'm feeling what they feel. So I'm yelling and I feel shameful. I feel small. I feel belittled. I feel, right? Like I'm not valued or respected. I'm feeling that in the moment. There's no lag, right? So this is going to be amazing for humanity, because you're going to self-correct right away. Because this is what stops me, is I feel the empathy. Right? I feel that now, the empathy. No, I don't want to do that to someone else, because I wouldn't want that done to me, right? The golden rule right there. So the golden rule is like in the now moment. So this is what I want to talk about more on my channel, and I want to hear from you guys what you want me to talk about, because I don't even know if these transit reports are helping anybody, right? But one of my gifts is the 17. It's activated here. And this is all about farsightedness. And I've got Saturn in the 8th house too, so I'm a bit of a shaman already. About looking more into the future and what's coming, and get people prepared for what's coming. Because I assume people know, because I'm an individual and I have to learn to explain myself more. So let me know what you want from this channel. Right? I don't want to be wasting my time. I'm looking at this too. The seven of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing, the 23.6. So it's at the very end of the lesson of the 23rd hexagram. So you go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's in the 6. So this means more reflection. It's Pisces. I'm completing a cycle. It's the 6th line. I'm on the roof and I'm looking back, right? I'm looking back, and you're looking at what has value in these last 16 years for me. What does not have value for me? And I let that go. And then the 23.6 is looking at the 8.1, and Uranus is already activating that. So it's saying, I know, right? I know, you'll just know. You don't need to do a pros and cons list with 23.6. You'll just like, I know this has value. I know that this is over, right? I've had these lessons. I don't need to repeat them again, right? And then the next step on the wheel, because this is the Mandela wheel, then you go to the 8.1 is, can I contribute? I know, remember individual, is I know I can contribute something now through my identity, right? Through my identity and direction. So here it's mental, my mind. I know through my mind. And then I move into I know I contribute through my identity. This means that I've inhabit and I embody these lessons that I've learned. And now I know my direction, right? So that's where we go to next. And that's where Uranus wants you to go. So remember with spiritual teachings, if you understand it with your mind, that's not enough. It's not enough any longer to understand spiritual teachings through your mind. It's not enough any longer. You have to become the embodiment of these teachings for the Aquarian age, right? So don't let the ego and say, oh yeah, I know that, I understand that. It's not, no, do you live that? Do you live that? Are you the embodiment of what you know, right? That's what the 8.1's about. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is go through, because I've got this online retreat coming up, so I want to be on time for these guys. Okay. Rebecca said her father was a Taurus and mom's Scorpio too. Yeah. Yeah. I remember at one time I had all these friends who had Scorpio mothers, and I was joking. I was in my 20s, and I wanted to create a support group for adult children of Scorpio mothers because we had so many stories about our Scorpio moms. I love Scorpios, but shadow Scorpios are definitely a handful. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quickly and just pick one card for each type. We'll start with the twin flames here. For this full moon. And the question on the table is about not hiding, right? So this 2343 activation for the full moon is letting go of hiding. Hiding your true self, hiding your authenticity, and not speaking your truth, right? So even twin flames, that's the journey of the twin flame, is they're here to be their authentic self, which means to let go of any codependent dynamics like people pleasing, things like that. Okay. So I'm going to do one card for the twins, since they're mirrors. Anyway. Okay. So what's the card for the full moon for the twin flames? Sorry about that. That was my phone. And turn it off. Okay. It's funny, my dog, that's Michael Jackson's song. And that's the one song my dog starts howling at. It's funny. I think he likes it. It's howling that he likes it. Okay. So what do we got for the twins? What are they going to know for the full moon? What do the twins need to know for the full moon? What do the twins need to know for the full moon? What do they need to let go of? What do the twins need to let go of? Okay. Okay. What do the twins need to let go of? What do the twin flames need to let go of? Okay, so the twin flames, so runner and chaser. This is a card for the runner and chasers. are to look at, so this is about letting go. It's like looking back at those Seven of Pentacles. It's about closing up a cycle. And this means about your friendship group. So it can work either way. So take this how it resonates. It's about looking at your friends, right? Are they aligned with where you are going? And you have to look in truth, and it's going to be, I know. It's not going to be like listing the pros and cons. Well, my friend is really a good person. They got a little bit of addiction problems. They like to get drunk, and they don't like to take responsibility, and they always seem to be in some kind of drama, and I'm always there to save them. You don't want to be making excuses, right? So this is the codependency that the twins have to let go of, right? The codependency. So letting go of that, making excuses for others, because if you attract drama, like your friends are on all kinds of drama, this isn't feeding your not self. That's all it is. It's feeding your not self, and it's avoiding. You're avoiding. Avoidance is a big word, especially for the runners. Avoiding doing your inner work. So you want to look at your friends, right? Are they friends of your habits? Or are friends of your consciousness, right? What happens when you let go of these habits? When I don't smoke anymore, I don't drink anymore, I don't gossip anymore, I don't waste my time anymore, right? Well, the friends will start to disappear. Let go of your habits and friends will start to disappear. So drinking, friends will start to disappear if they're friends of your habit. When you start to shift in frequency, they will disappear. And this isn't a bad thing. What I've noticed in my life is like I have my core circle of friends, and then every 7 years, because we go through 7-year cycles, it's like they evolve. It's like, oh, that reminds me of my friend back when I was this age, but this is like a more evolved version because they're more aligned with my frequency and consciousness. So to look at that, and also look at where you're hiding, because this 2343 is about hiding your voice. What happens when I start speaking what's actually going on in my head and I'm not afraid anymore? What happens with these so-called friends when I start breaking my script, when I start breaking out of these roles? What happens to my friends? You're going to see who your friends are pretty quick when you're authentic and real, especially if they're fake, right? And they want you to be fake too. So this, to me, is taking an inventory of your friends. All these pentacles are your friends in your community and the people that you surround yourself with. And all you have to do, this is what I do. Sometimes it's like if I feel confused because Saturn's in the gate of doubt, right? Doubt, but the programming partner is 63 and 64 are all about confusion. If I'm confused, it's like I just put a prayer out. Let me see this person in truth. Let them show themselves to me. And they will. The divine will work through that person. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, the mask is off, right? I finally see this person in truth. Not the way that I want to see them or I want to fix them, but who they are in truth and accept, right? Pluto in the 60. It's not here, but Pluto's in the 60, right? This is about acceptance, accepting the limitation of this community, and it's time for you to move on. It's time for you to move on as a twin. And that can work for the other twin too if you're isolated. Maybe you've gone the isolation route, right? So take this as it resonates, right? Maybe you're isolated. Maybe it's time for you to come out more in community. There's the twins are always balancing in energy. So one probably has to go more internal, away from these crazy friends that are a distraction, that are friends of habits. And then the other one has to come more into community, into right community, not just any community, right? That's how the twins work, because they're balancing energy and they're mirrors of one another. Yeah. And the fear is being your authentic self. One is hiding in community. The other one is just hiding and alone in their apartment or whatever, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's to look at for the twins. And then let's go for generators. Okay. So the gift of the 23, the full moon in the 23 generators, is simplicity. So it's the mind that makes everything complex, right? Makes everything complex because it feeds. The mind loves to think and think and think and think some more and communicate. And the 4323 is very elegant. When it's in its light, in its highest frequency, it's elegant. It gets to the point. The 23 is like quintessence. What's the essence of this communication? 43 is breakthrough and epiphany, right? And the shadow is deafness and complexity, the 4323. These are the word salad people. You ask them a question and you get TMI, TMI. It's like, just get to the point, right? And you know, in the future with this solar plexus mutation, we're not going to have to communicate to one another. We're going to have such a deep understanding of one another. We're going to communicate through energy, not through words and mental, right? Yeah. So generators, this is about you looking at the Seven of Pentacles, looking back since 2016, or 2008, sorry, when Pluto went into Capricorn, and what has value, and take that and leave the rest behind. This is a new cycle that's coming. Major cycle. So what do the generators have to let go of? Okay. I think they got this before too. So the 10 of Wands. The generators have to take the burden where they have felt burdened. Burdened from what has been. They're going to unburden themselves. For real, they're going to unburden themselves, right? So this is burdens. So this is too much this is duty and responsibility the generators have had since 2008. Struggles, burnout, right? Totally burned out here, the generators. So, and this isn't wrong, right? This is not wrong. And remember, Saturn can feel like this, right? When Saturn's retrograde, it can feel like this. The burdens that I've been carrying, the duty, the obligations. I have so much responsibility in my life. How did this happen? Right? Duty, right? All these Saturnian words. And this is Saturn in Sagittarius, right? Saturn in Sagittarius here. So this is ending because he's almost to the village, right? It's like he had to carry this. This isn't wrong. He had to carry this kind of responsibility and go through these kinds of struggles so that he could learn and grow. So look back at like, oh, what were my struggles since 2008? What were my struggles? What did I learn from this? Because soon you're going to be putting down the full moon. It's like November 15th. You're going to put down these wands, right? Put these wands down. This is completion. It's a release. It's a release of responsibilities, right? And to trust that you can let go of this. And one thing you need to remember, that we're all in the divine's hands. Right? Each one is in God's hands, right? That you don't need to take responsibility for another person. You don't need to take on their lessons, those karmic lessons. You can let go. That's what this is saying, right? You can let go for this full moon, okay? But sevens are all about reflection. So take some time as a generator, right? And pause and just take some time. Like what am I letting go? What am I bringing with me into this new 1616, into this new chapter? Okay. And then let's go for MGs. So there's the manifesting generators. So we're talking about the full moon in the 23, the gate of assimilation. This is splitting apart, and it's activating the channel of structuring, the 4323. This is the Freak the Genius channel. This is getting major insights, MGs, for this full moon. And you have to look at the 58. Venus is the ruler of the full moon, which is the 58, activating the 18th, the self node, and that's correcting what has been spoiled, right? So correcting what has been spoiled. So maybe you got to fix some things in your life before you let go. Okay. Okay, what do we got for the manifesting generators? What do the manifesting generators need to let go of for this full moon? Okay. The Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is the underdog of the tarot. Right? The Seven of Wands is the underdog. So letting go. Maybe you're focused on the underdog, always trying to save the underdog, right? In your life, the underdog's in your life. To look at it that way. Okay, so that's how it works with external. You always have to go, MGs, at what's motivating me. What's motivating me to go and save these underdogs in my life? What's motivating me? Well, I really want to save myself, right? That's usually the answer. You bring it back to yourself. I want somebody to save me, right? You can look at it like that. So this is about standing up for yourself, right? Seven of Wands is saying it's time to stand up for yourself. It's time to set a boundary, right? Stand up for yourself. It's to protect yourself. This is self-esteem, to have the self-esteem. This comes from self-love, deep, deep self-love. Being a doormat, because the ego will say, well, I got to be a doormat and I've got to compromise for everybody else and I got to let everybody walk all over me, and that means that I love them. I love that other person. No, that does not mean. Right? I give whatever that person wants and needs, I give to them. That is not love. That's not love at all, because it's not coming from a true place of love, right? That's coming from I'm giving my power over to the other person. That's not love. Love and power are two different things. Self-love is like I'm setting a boundary. That's what I'm doing, and I'm teaching you how to set a boundary. By you watching me being the role model for that. I'm coming from self-love. I'm setting a boundary. I'm standing up for myself. I'm teaching you how to treat me. I'm teaching you how to treat yourself with self-love, right? I feel like strongly that MGs need to get that little tweak of what self-love really means. And it's not giving away your power. That is not love at all, right? This is what love is. Right? So standing up for yourself, coming from self-love, self-esteem, protecting yourself. This is Mars and Leo. This is Mars and Leo. And Mars is in Leo right now. And Leo, and I did a whole video on this, my last video. So watch that if you haven't watched that already. This is the solar plexus. It's coming from your solar plexus here. And it's fire and it's 7. Right? We've got 7 of Pentacles. This correlates to the full moon. And then we've got the 7 of Wands. So this is about reflecting. Reflecting, where don't I stand up for myself? Where in these 16 years, right? What have I learned? What happened when I didn't stand up for myself? What happened when I gave all my power away? What happened when I tried to save all those underdogs? Did they really get healed? Did it really help them? Probably not, because it wasn't coming from self-love, right? So it's reflecting on this, because you're about to move from Pluto into Aquarius. This is a whole new cycle, so you need to learn to say no. And what I say is no is a complete sentence, No is a complete sentence. You got used to saying no. That's what this is. No, 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 no. Because everybody wants the MG's energy. People don't want my energy as a projector. I got no energy, but you do. The MGs and the generators do. So, you know, I talk about the slave. You're transmuting the archetype of the slave. It's like, no, you don't have access to my energy. That's this, the Seven of Wands, right? So this is like taking self-care, not just as a thought form, but actually acting on it. Because this is how, you know, love in action. That's the language of the Aquarian age. It's all about action now, taking action. Taurus, take action. Taurus, right? Out in the world, ground it, right? To act on this. And remember, when you set a boundary, it's not the end. You got to patrol it too, right? Okay, so that's what we got for the MGs. And then let's go for projectors. So projectors, we're talking about the full moon in the 23. The gift of simplicity. And the projectors looking back since 2008. What's been going on for you, projector? What have you been learning since 2008? Because we've gone through 2 7-year cycles, haven't we? Since 2008. Okay. So it's about letting go of something, right? The 23 is about letting go. And it's conjunct with the 8, with Uranus. And that's about you being your authentic self. Okay. So what do the projectors need to let go of? Tell me what the projectors need to let go of. Okay. That's a lot, so we'll take this. The moon. The moon, the moon, the moon, the moon, the moon. So this is letting go of some deep fears. Projectors are letting go of some deep fears, right? Some fears. And these are, they come from deep, 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 deep within, right? This is Pisces. Right? The moon is ruled by Pisces, and this is the Pisces degree. Pisces degree, right? The moon is in the Pisces degree. So this is a completion. And Pisces is like ruled by Neptune, right? The fog, you can't see. It's difficult to access this energy, but this is about letting go of fears. So maybe during these since 2008, you've been dealing with these fears, right? These deep, deep fears, right? So, and it's complexity too. So that's this. The 23, this is the shadow of complexity. So where do you make things complex as a projector, right? And how do you do that? Not self. The not self. This is being in the mind, in the mental plane, and not in your strategy and authority as a projector. You want to simplify that, and that means I need to be recognized, and then I need to be invited, right, as a projector. So, in secrets, right? So maybe put your prayer out that. Maybe I know that there's some invisible wall here. I'm going to put my prayer out. And I'm going to let these secrets be revealed to me, right? So that I can let go. And maybe it was around a belief that you had about yourself, around your value, your sense of self-value or whatever that is, right? Yeah. Okay. So you want to trust your intuition too with the moon card. It's trust your intuition, trust your I know. Trust your I know. Okay, and let's quickly go to Manifestor. It's like the fastest reading I've ever done. And the Manifestors, letting go of something for the full moon. The Hermit. The Hermit. It's time for the Manifestors to get out. It's time for the Manifestors to start initiating. That's what this is. You've spent too much time on your own, isolated and alone. You got to giddy up. It's time to let go of this isolation and solitude, right? You got it. Everything you need, you got it. Now it's time to start initiating. It's time to start informing people, right? What you've been receiving. Okay. And then let's go for the reflector. Whoops. Okay, there's a reflector. I think it's good for me to have a deadline like this because the opening circle's in 3 minutes. Okay, so what do we got for the reflectors? What do they got to let go of for this full moon? What are the reflectors have to let go of? Okay. 2 cards for the reflectors. So letting go of hanging around for the reflectors, and the people that have don't really resonate with the maybe I'm a projector and I don't resonate with that, then you're going to resonate with this as a reflector. So this is like to stop hanging around, stop making sacrifices. Reflectors and other types, you want to look back at these pentacles since 2008, where you've made sacrifices in your life. You want to let that go. This is Neptune. This goes with the Pisces. It's about completion, right? You've looked at things in different ways, right? Now it's time, and you've got an idealism here with the page of, and this is also, I would say, your children, if you have children, reflectors, you want to see them in truth, that they're probably ready to go, leave the nest. This is about letting go of your, well, it's doing inner child work. That's this too, right? The Page of Cups is inner child work, doing inner child work. Not having your heads in the cloud. This is Taurus. It's time to get your feet on the ground, right, as a reflector. And it's time to stop hanging around. It's time to act. It's all about action now. Okay? Okay. So that's what I have for everybody. So just remember that you can still join in. Opening circle starts in 1 minute. And I'll have my eye on my email too, in case you want to come in. And if anybody is... Yeah, okay. Okay. So I will see you next video. Okay. Satnam, everybody. Bye-bye.